Imagine reaching toward your dog's favorite toy. He doesn't growl. He doesn't bare his teeth. He doesn't move at all. For a moment, the room becomes strangely quiet. His mouth closes, his body hardens, his eyes slide toward your hand, without his head turning. Most people see a calm dog. But calmness has movement in it. A soft face, easy breathing, muscles that shift naturally. This is something else. This is stillness held under pressure. And sometimes, the most important warning before a dog bites is not a sound. It is the sudden absence of one. Dogs rarely communicate through a single gesture. They speak with their eyes, mouths, muscles, weight, ears, tails, movement, and with the situation unfolding around them. A lip lick does not automatically mean danger. A sideways glance does not predict a bite. Even a wagging tail does not necessarily mean a dog feels safe. The meaning appears when multiple signals begin telling the same story. Today, we will examine 7 silent warnings that can appear when a dog is becoming deeply uncomfortable, and what you should do before that discomfort is forced to become something louder. But the 7th warning is not found in one part of the dog's body. It appears in the space around them, and missing it can make every other signal more dangerous. Luna was lying beneath the kitchen table when a visiting child approached. Seconds earlier, her body had been moving naturally. Her nose explored the floor. Her ears followed the sounds around her. Her chest rose and fell in a relaxed rhythm. Then the child bent down, and Luna became completely still. The adults saw a dog doing nothing, but doing nothing was the message. Freezing can occur when a dog is processing pressure and deciding what to do next. Movement stops. The muscles become rigid. Breathing may appear shallow. Even the dog's blinking can slow. This is different from resting. A resting dog looks heavy and loose. The body settles into the floor. The facial muscles remain soft. The position may change comfortably. A frozen dog looks suspended, as if the next second has not yet been decided. Freezing does not guarantee a bite. Dogs can become still because they are concentrating, startled, uncertain, or afraid. But when sudden stillness appears during an unwanted approach, handling, restraint, or conflict over something valuable, it deserves immediate attention. Do not lean closer to investigate. Do not reach for the dog's collar. Stop adding pressure and create distance calmly. Because the next warning may be only inches away from the first. A relaxed dog often has a loose jaw. The lips and cheeks appear soft. The mouth may be gently open. Then, something changes. The mouth shuts, not because the dog has finished panting, but because the entire face has tightened. This transition is easy to overlook. Humans naturally watch for teeth, yet a dog does not need to expose teeth to communicate tension. A firmly closed mouth, tight lips, a wrinkled muzzle, or tension around the jaw may show that the dog's emotional state has shifted. Picture Luna again. The child is still approaching. Luna's mouth closes. The corners of her lips move forward. Her neck becomes rigid. The closed mouth alone cannot tell us what she will do. But combined with the sudden freeze and the approaching child, it changes the picture. 2 quiet signals are now pointing in the same direction. I am not comfortable with what is happening. The safest response is not to test how much more the dog will tolerate. It is to listen while the message is still quiet. Dogs often turn their heads away to avoid conflict. It can be a request for space, an attempt to reduce social tension, or a way to disengage from an interaction they do not want. People frequently misread this. They follow the dog's face with their hand. They lean closer. They tell the dog it's okay, while continuing the very action the dog is trying to escape. But watch what happens when the head turns away, while the eyes remain fixed on the approaching person. The dog is attempting to avoid direct confrontation, yet still feels the need to monitor the threat. The body says, I want this interaction to end. The eyes say, but I cannot safely ignore it. This can happen when someone hugs a dog, reaches over its head, corners it against furniture, disturbs it while resting, or moves toward an object it values. Turning away is not disobedience. It may be communication, and when a dog's attempt to disengage is ignored, the dog may discover that subtle signals do not work. That is when the eyes can reveal the fourth warning. As Luna turns her head, a crescent of white appears around her eye. This is commonly called whale eye. It often happens when the head moves away, while the eyes continue tracking something the dog finds concerning. But whale eye must be interpreted carefully. Some dogs naturally show more eye white because of their facial anatomy. Eye position changes during play, excitement, and ordinary movement. A single photograph can remove the context needed to understand what was actually happening, so do not diagnose emotion from the white of an eye alone. Instead, examine the complete moment. Did the dog suddenly freeze? Did the mouth close? Is the face tense? Is someone reaching toward food, a toy, a bed, an injury, or a trapped dog? Does the dog have somewhere to retreat? When whale eye appears inside that larger pattern, it may reflect anxiety, fear, guarding, or serious discomfort. Luna is no longer simply lying beneath a table. She is frozen beneath a table, with a closed mouth, a turned head, and an eye locked onto someone entering the only space she has left. The signal is not dramatic. The message is becoming unmistakable. Not every stare means the same thing. Dogs may gaze at people they trust with relaxed eyelids and a soft face. They may stare at a toy because they expect it to move. They may become intensely focused during play or work. The difference is not simply where the dog looks. It is how the entire dog looks while doing it. A hard stare appears fixed and cold. The muscles around the eyes tighten. The body may become tall, forward, or completely motionless. The mouth is often closed. The dog may stop responding to familiar voices or offered food because its attention has narrowed onto one concern. This narrowing matters. The dog's world is shrinking around a single point of conflict. At this moment, staring back, leaning over the dog, shouting, grabbing the collar, or trying to prove authority can increase pressure. Do not turn the moment into a confrontation. Reduce movement, avoid direct eye contact, angle your body away, and allow space without trapping the dog further. If you can safely move away, do so slowly. The goal is not to win. The goal is to make escalation unnecessary. And the tail can tell us whether that tension is spreading through the rest of the body. One of the most dangerous myths in dog body language is that a wagging tail always means a friendly dog. A tail shows arousal and intention, but its meaning depends on its height, speed, stiffness, direction, and everything happening around it. A broad sweeping wag accompanied by loose hips and a relaxed face looks very different from a high rigid tail, making short controlled movements. Some dogs hold the tail stiff and still, others raise it high. A fearful dog may lower or tuck it. A dog in conflict may shift between positions as its emotional state changes. Breed and anatomy also matter. A naturally curled tail, short tail, or heavily coated tail can make these details difficult to see. That is why the tail should never be interpreted by itself. Return to Luna. Her tail is not simply up, it is rigid, while her body is frozen, her mouth is closed, and her eyes remain fixed on the child. The tail does not predict exactly what she will do next. It confirms that the tension is no longer confined to her face. Her entire body is involved. And now we reach the warning that humans often create without realizing it. Sometimes, the final warning is not on the dog. It is in the room. A dog is trapped beneath a table, pressed into the corner of a sofa, held tightly during a hug, surrounded by excited children, restrained by a leash while a stranger approaches, guarding a resting place while someone blocks the only path away. When a dog wants distance but cannot obtain it, the available choices begin to disappear. First, the dog may look away. Then move away. Then freeze. Then stare. A growl, snap, or bite may follow if the pressure continues. But dogs do not all move through these behaviors in the same order. Some signals occur almost simultaneously, some are so brief that an untrained observer misses them. Pain, illness, previous experience, arousal, and learned behavior can also alter how a dog responds. There is no universal countdown. There is only a changing picture. Under the table, Luna was not planning revenge. She was not trying to dominate the family. She was a frightened dog whose retreat had been blocked. When the child's parent finally noticed Luna's stillness, they did something simple. They stopped the approach. They called the child back without grabbing Luna. The room became quieter. A pathway opened. For several seconds, Luna remained frozen. Then she blinked. Her head moved. She stood and walked away. Nothing dramatic happened. And that was the success. If a dog suddenly becomes rigid, tense, or intensely focused, stop the interaction. Give the dog space without rushing toward it, or reaching for its collar. Move children and other animals away, using calm adult supervision. Do not corner the dog, challenge it, stare it down, punish it, or deliberately repeat the trigger to see whether the warning happens again. Never punish growling. A growl can be uncomfortable to hear, but it communicates that something is wrong. Punishing the sound may suppress an important warning without changing the fear, pain, or conflict underneath it. If the behavior appears suddenly, especially when the dog is touched, moved, or approached, arrange a veterinary examination. Pain and medical problems can change behavior, even in a dog with no previous history of aggression. If the dog has snapped, bitten, guarded resources, or repeatedly shown intense fear or aggression, use physical management to prevent another incident and seek qualified professional help. A veterinarian can assess possible medical causes and help you find a credentialed veterinary behaviorist or appropriately qualified behavior professional. Do not attempt to recreate a dangerous situation for practice. Safety begins with preventing rehearsal, protecting people and animals, and understanding what triggers the dog's discomfort. We often imagine that a dangerous moment will announce itself with noise, but Luna's clearest warning was silence. Her body stopped before anyone else did. And the bite that never happened was prevented, not through force, punishment, or dominance, but because someone finally noticed what she had been saying all along. The purpose of reading canine body language is not to label dogs as good or bad. It is to recognize when an animal is struggling before fear becomes an emergency. One signal is a clue. Several signals form a message. Context gives that message meaning. Think about the last time your dog became uncomfortable. What was the first subtle change you noticed? A closed mouth, a turned head, sudden stillness, or something else? Share it in the comments. Your observation may help another person recognize the moment their own dog needs space. And subscribe to Hidden Dog, because the most important things your dog tells you are often the things they never say out loud.